this point, these videos may have made you rich. The Lucrative Hammer of the Week is on an insane roll. We just destroyed UFC 322, hitting every single play, all three I gave out on that show, plus 650 prop bets, as well as the main hammer, which was Carlos Prates. And you know I'm coming to smash the Hammer of the Week video yet again. Everyone's betting trap lines every week, but we're dodging that like Neo in the Matrix. And the bet I have for you this week isn't the flashy pick, but it is the most profitable one. If this bet doesn't hit, I'm gonna eat my bet slip. Welcome to Lucrative Hammer of the Week.
Oh! Carlos Prates via KO! Carlos Prates KO in round 2 as well. One of the biggest cashes ever, that's it. The night is a wrap, lads. Ladies and gentlemen, peace and love to everybody. I've done it again.
Welcome back to Lucrative Hammer of the Week, boys, where I tell you the best betting spot on the entire upcoming UFC card. As I said, this week we are in Doha, Qatar, where we have Tsarukyan and Dan Hooker in a main event matchup in the lightweight division. We also have Garry on the card taking on Belal Muhammad in a welterweight matchup, to which may determine, if not the next, probably the next after that, title challenger. Obviously, after last week's welterweight events with Michael Morales and Carlos Prates getting highlight reel KOs, I feel like Garry or Belal is going to have to do something special to fight for the title next, but they're definitely up there. Before we get into the video, first do me a favor, hit the like button, subscribe, and I'll repay the favor by putting money in your pocket with the videos like I do every single week. So boys, if you don't know what the Hammer of the Week is, I don't know, you must have been sleeping under an MMA betting rock, but it is a weekly video that I make on my YouTube channel where I give you the best betting spot on the entire upcoming card. Or one of my most confident plays, one of the plays that I believe holds the most value, or simply a bet that I want to give out. I make 15 plus bets a week, so it's important not to rely on one singular bet that could lose. Hit the link in my bio, sublaunch.com/lucrativemma if you want all of my 15 bets. But I will say that the Hammer of the Week have been absolutely crushing it lately. And I'm going to give you this week's Hammer of the Week in just a second. Last week, though, we hit Carlos Prates as our Hammer of the Week. We also, in our section, Ladder the Hammer, which we're going to do later in the show, where I give you a bunch of plus money props to add on to our Hammer of the Week. So make sure you stick around for that. In that section last week, we had Carlos Prates via KO, which cashed at plus 170. And we had Carlos Prates via KO in round 2, which cashed at plus 600. The week before that, the Hammer of the Week was Tsarukyan Ko, which cashed, and we had Tsarukyan Ko via decision, which cashed at plus money, and we had Tsarukyan Ko via unanimous decision or minus 3.5 point spread, which cashed as well. We hit all bets. The week before that, we had Melissa Croden as an underdog, which cashed, and we also had Croden to win in round 3 at plus 1,400, which cashed. So boys, I don't know how the hell we can keep up with this, but we're literally not only hitting the hammers, but every single ladder the hammer play as well, up to plus 1,400 prop lines. It also coincided with me winning 200 units for me in the Elite Zone, my VIP member squad. So it was an insane week. It's been an insane year, and I'm doing my best every single week to give you the source and help put money in your pocket. So boys, without further ado, let's do it again and take a trip with me as I go from MSG in New York City all the way to Doha, Qatar to show you my next hammer.
We have some breaking news. Professional MMA bettor Lucrative James has just surpassed 200 units of profit for the year 2025, as well as cashing his Hammer of the Week play on Carlos Prates to win by knockout in round 2.
Wow, Greg, that is absolutely insane. You best believe I tailed that shit and made a fat bag, and I will be quitting this lame-ass job later today. If you aren't in the Elite Zone, you are missing out.
These bookies cannot stop the hammer, but the grind don't stop. Another week, another hammer.
UFC Qatar! Let's go!
There we are, lads. It is Ian Garry at odds of -220 in the co-main event of the evening. Boys, I know Ian Garry is not a popular fighter out there. Neither is Belal Muhammad, to be honest. So I don't know which way the betting public, the MMA fans in general, will be leaning on this one. But I'll tell you where I am leaning. Ian Garry, confidently. At the end of the day, man, Ian Garry has been one of my most profitable fighters for me and the Elite Zone since he started fighting in the UFC. So boys, you can see here, I've been betting Ian Garry all the way back until his UFC debut. I put 5 units, a massive bet on Ian Garry over Darian Weeks, which cashed easily. I also bet on him against Gabriel Green. I mean, we was getting him at prices of -160 against the like of Gabriel Green, which is absolutely a crazy line in hindsight. I bet him against Neil Magny. I bet him against Jeff Neal. I even bet him against Shavkat Rakhmonov at +285 odds and cashed a bunch of massive props on him as well. So it's safe to say that I like Ian Garry. I think he's a very elite fighter, one of the best fighters in the entire division, and there is an argument that he beat Shavkat Rakhmonov. Now, I don't agree with that argument. I scored it to Shavkat, but it was 3-2. It was extremely close, and absolutely nothing happened in that first round outside of Shavkat hugging him up against the cage. You know, something that he tried to do for the entire 25-minute fight. Who does he do that to? He doesn't do that to anybody. There was a reason why he had to do that against Ian Garry, because he was not comfortable on the feet. He was not comfortable with Ian Garry's movement and speed. And that's saying something, man. Shavkat is one of the greatest fighters we have in MMA today. So for him to literally have to resort to cage push to win the fight, I think that says more about Ian Garry than it does about Shavkat, to be honest. I hold Shavkat in high regard, even after that win. Like, you had to do what you had to do to win. To beat Ian Garry, that's a massive win in my book. So however you do it, congratulations to you, man. But Ian Garry is legit. He is for real. And everyone, including the best fighter in the division, arguably Shavkat Rakhmonov, knows that. Something I want to mention that is pretty important here, boys, is that Ian Garry is 27 years old and Belal Muhammad is 37 years old. That is a 10-year age disadvantage. And if you had read the book Fightnomics or know anything about MMA and the UFC specifically, when there is a 10-year age dis or advantage for a fighter, usually the younger fighter wins, right? Obviously not all the time, but a very high percentage of the time, the younger fighter wins. Now, the caveat to that is if you get an 18-year-old and they fight a 28-year-old, I believe that the 28-year-old has a big advantage, right? But when you're getting someone 37 versus 27, the 27-year-old fighter is much more in his physical and athletic prime, and they usually win the fight. Ian Garry's nickname is the future. To be honest, I feel like it should be changed to the present. Belal Muhammad's nickname is Remember the Name. And I'm going to give you the ultimate way to cap a fight now via nicknames. Ian Garry is the future of MMA, according to his nickname. Belal Muhammad is like, he's done already. Remember my name, you know? Remember how good I was. Ian Garry's the future and Belal is the past. Just remember me, right? So that's all you need to know to cash this one, boys. Ian Garry is going to go out there and put on a masterclass, a clinic against Belal Muhammad, who I believe does pose some problems for Ian Garry. I think that he's going to get back to his wrestling here. If we go and look at his last fight against Jack Della Maddalena, for the first 3 rounds, he wasn't really grappling. He wasn't really wrestling. Now, if you're a wiki capper or a UFC stat capper and you don't actually watch the fight like I do, then you'll see a couple of takedown attempts in the first few rounds for Belal Muhammad, and you might think, okay, he was grappling. But he wasn't really grappling, lads. Those takedown attempts were not really legit takedown attempts, right? He wasn't putting his all into them. He was kind of just showing them to show Jack the takedown so he could show off his striking, which was the clear game plan in that fight. When he started to push his wrestling in 4 and 5, he started to have more success, but he also got hit a lot more. So I think in this fight, he's going to go back to his wrestling roots. I saw a recent interview from Belal Muhammad, and in that interview, he basically alluded to him fighting a dumb game plan against JDM, not shooting enough because he had a really big goal to prove to the fan base, which is stupid, but it is what it is. He had a goal to prove to the fan base that he had good striking, and it lost him the fight, right? So I think he's going to go back to his wrestling roots here. By the end of the day, man, I've watched Garry throughout his entire career, as you know, even before the UFC. And a lot of people have tried to grapple in, including Shavkat Rakhmonov, and basically no one has had success. Now, Shavkat did get some success, but Shavkat is a huge guy. He's basically a middleweight fighting at welterweight, and he has a very, very good jiu-jitsu game. In my opinion, a lot better jiu-jitsu than Belal Muhammad. Although he has less work rate and worse wrestling, he does have better jiu-jitsu, right? And Shavkat was able to take Garry down. But every single time Garry showed good jiu-jitsu, Apart from the first time he got taken down, he did close his guard, which was weird, but it was only for like 30 seconds. After that, he actually kicked Shavkat off. He threatened with some, not submission attempts, but he threatened with his guard. He got the butterfly hooks, etc., etc. And he looked quite dangerous off his back. And Shavkat necessarily didn't really want to be there. So I don't really see Belal holding him down if Shavkat couldn't, because I think Shavkat is a much better controlled jiu-jitsu grappler than Belal Muhammad. Now, Belal maybe will shoot more takedowns, might get him down more, but he's not going to keep him down as much. And Shavkat couldn't even keep him down hardly at all anyway. I honestly feel like Garry could take Belal's back in the scramble. He did it to Shavkat in the first fight. And then if we speak about the striking, it's all Ian Garry here. The footwork is elite. The fast high kicks he has is honestly crazy. It's reminiscent of Roman Kopylov in the middleweight division, how fast they get their high kicks up there. I could see him landing a head kick and really hurting Belal Muhammad here. We've seen Belal head kicked on more than one occasion in the UFC. We've seen him very badly head kicked and hurt by Jeff Neal. I don't see why it couldn't happen here. I think Belal's going to go out there and fight a respectable fight, but I don't think he's going to beat Ian Garry. So our hammer of the week is Ian Garry, but boys, we still need to get to the section Ladder the Hammer, which is really the fun section where I give you more props that we can add onto our main hammer of the week play, which is Ian Garry Moneyline. Before we get to that section and I give you more bets, boys, I want you to comment down below your favorite hammer of the week for this week. And if it's a good hammer, I'll shout you out on next week's show. Let's take a look back at some of the comments from last week and see who cashed out. We got Aidan Barrett saying Carl Dorcas, and his Ladder the Hammer play is Carl Dorcas KO, and then he has Carl Dorcas KO round 2. Now, obviously, the Ladder the Hammer didn't hit. Carl Dorcas did hit. I think he was pretty big favorite, you know, so yeah, he hit, but the KO could have hit. He dropped him. It was close. He did end up wrapping up a submission, but you know, I'll give you half points for that. Again, boys, looking through, there's just so many L's, man. Every single time I look through, this is like 95% of the comments are losses, which just shows you how hard this game is. We got Nick saying Dorcas under 1.5 hammer. And the round 1 or round 1 KO sprinkle round 1 is a safer bet because there's a sub on either side. I think it's round 1. Congratulations, brother. Another Dorcas one. We got him 3170 saying Michael Morales hammer. Congratulations. He looked very good, very big. Great first round KO by Michael. We got a couple other Morales ones, Morales KO and stuff. Well done, boys. Ryan Ripper saying Pat Sabatini decision. Well done. Solid one. Someone wrote Leon Edwards hammer of the week and then deleted their comment. So come on, man. I'm out here every single week putting my face and predictions out there. You're an anonymous guy in your basement and you can't even let the comments stay up? Come out of here, brother. Get some balls. Get some cojones. I wanted to give you a little shout out. Don't get scared. A bunch of people did pick Leon and still left their comments up. So shout out to you for leaving it up. Is what it is, man. It's one pick. You got it wrong. It's not the end of the world. I'm going to get a million more picks wrong. You're going to get a million more picks wrong. I'm still going to be rich as fuck from betting MMA at the end because we don't care about one individual pick. So that's it, boys. We're going to move on to the best section of the entire show, which is my favorite section, which is Ladder the Hammer. So boys, I'm going to do a very easy Ladder the Hammer section here because at the end of the day, man, Belal seems tougher than he used to be. Seems like he's eating a lot of fruit, eating a lot of vegetables, and the amount of punishment he took from Jack Della Maddalena was quite impressive, to be honest. So I can't go out there and say Ian Garry's outright going to get a finish. He can definitely land a head kick. He can even maybe get a submission in transition. I don't think so, but he could. I definitely don't think so, to be honest, thinking about it out loud. It's not out of the realm of possibility he finishes, but Ian Garry's more of a decision guy, right? And this is a 3-round fight. And Ian Garry has gone to decision in his last 5 fights. And the one he didn't go to decision in, the 6th fight, was against Daniel Rodriguez, who's getting older, getting a bit more washed now. Even back then he was. And it was a very early knockout of a head kick. I mean, shit happens. You know what I mean? Ian Garry's a decision guy. So I'm going to pick Ian Garry via decision as the second rung on our ladder. And now we're not left with many options, boys. We've already picked him via decision, so our third rung can't be KO round 3, right? We don't want to go against our decision play. So I'm going to do exactly what I did with the Tsarukyan co-bet against Phil Rowe, which cashed easily, which is I'm going to give you 2 options for the third rung of your ladder. The first option is going to be Ian Garry via unanimous decision, and the second option is going to be Ian Garry minus point spread, right? So whatever one you want to play, I think both cash, to be honest. Obviously, I'd lean more to the unanimous decision, 29-28 on all 3 rounds is definitely possible. But that's it, boys. That's going to be the section Ladder the Hammer. Like I said, boys, leave a comment down below and I'll shout you out if your hammer cashes. And last thing, I'm going to give you more free bets this week, not on YouTube, not on Instagram, only in my private Telegram group, which you can join down below completely for free. There's free bets in there and free money, cash giveaways I'm giving out. So join that, boys. It's been an insane year, 200 units of profit for the Elite Zone. If you want to join the Elite Zone, again, the link is down below. But that's it, boys. I cannot wait to keep on cashing as we do almost every single week. And like I said, the free bets are there in the free Telegram right now. Good luck this weekend, boys. That's Lucrative Hammer of the Week. Peace out.